for.
Yeah, what we like through.
Okay, look, this next 5 to 10 minutes is going to be dedicated to F1 because the three guys sitting here at this table.
Das Formula 1.
Yeah, that one right there. Our friendship is built around it. Like, let's be real.
Oh, absolutely.
We came together around
No doubt.
F1. Basically, every other weekend, we go to this man Dave's house. We eat a tub of guacamole.
And hummus. We go through some freaking hummus.
Dude, I was telling Steve, like, the amount of guacamole we've eaten in this house is astounding. Like, really. Yeah, I just real quick want to go around the line and just say why you like Formula One. I think it's an amazing sport, and I try to get it, I expose it to as many people as possible. And maybe people listening to this episode, like, they think it might even be like NASCAR. They have no idea. So let's tell, like, what's up with Formula One.
Just so you know, that would be an offensive idea to think that.
Of course it would be. It happens all the time.
We turn right.
All the time.
Couple times.
David,
And okay.
F1.
I think it just boils down to that I'm just always been kind of a gearhead, and that I love cars. I love everything about cars, and it's just kind of the pinnacle of what cars can do. So, and for a long time, it wasn't until college that I really started getting into it and watching it and following it.
What was that initial hook, do you think?
I think it's just trying to wrap your head around how fast these cars
I was
are going.
gonna say, for me, it's all about speed. Like it's the kind of motion that is not rivaled by any other object on the planet.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
It's so captivating. Like once you know what you're looking at,
And you can appreciate what they're able to accomplish.
And Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear has said, like, speed is one of the only true, like, modern sensations. Like, human beings haven't been able to feel speed up until 100 years ago when 25 miles an hour on a little Mercedes buggy was like, you're flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're doing 8 times that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the idea. To me, they're literally like little jet engines on wheels, and I love how it so perfectly embodies the relationship of, like, heart versus mind, where you have a team of people that work on creating the most impressive engineering feat known to man when it comes to auto, and then none of that matters as if your driver crashes, and so much of it is dependent on driving as well. And to me, driving is just the sexiest thing of all time.
I love driving.
Me too.
It's incredible. And watching them, it's like how I watch F1, I'm like, how could anyone care about, like, a horse race even?
I was
and things
actually
like that.
about to bring up, like, horse jockeys. Like, they don't seem like athletes to me. They seem like they learned the skill and they had good body types, which seems like what an athlete is. But to me, they're still just riding. It's like, I understand. Maybe I don't need to put down jockeys in order to.
But people say the same thing
drivers,
about Formula One as well. It's like, they just sit in a car and
but
go
these
around the
guys are
track.
such true athletes.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
spending an hour and 15, 20 minutes outside of your body weight constantly.
Which is insane,
Like,
yeah.
you're constantly
4 to
taking
5 times your body weight.
Yeah, that's insanity.
They lose
Yeah.
almost, like, 6 to 7 kilos in water weight
Mhm.
every
This is why you
race.
have to check in your weight afterwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
You look like a
They take
real
vital
athlete.
signs and everything for that.
Yeah, so
to
cool.
monitor.
Anyway, so the new season kicks off this Sunday at Albert Park. Yeah, Albert Park. What is
Practice 1 started
Melbourne.
at 8:30
it? Holy
tonight.
crap.
Wow.
I can't wait to watch. So what we wanted to do real quick is just sort of sum up testing this year as best we could. So this last season was new engine formula, radically different, and watching Bahrain and realizing how different the state of the cars were from that third race to the last one blew my mind. It was incredible. So now we have a whole year's worth of data and telemetry. Time to make changes, time to go into the next season and see who's going to win, right?
Yep.
Now, obviously, Mercedes absolutely dominated last season, and we're looking at them to see how well they're able to continue that, or if someone else can come and challenge them.
Yep.
So what I want to do first is just go through, like, the drivers that we know and love and how they performed in testing as far as quickest lap time. Because for a while, Mercedes was sandbagging and they weren't posting these laps. They finally did it, but so we're going to talk about that.
They were sandbagging at the first round at
Barcelona?
Jerez.
I think it was that or like Catalonia or something like that.
Catalunya was the long testing
Oh, okay.
where they finally kind of started opening up the car.
I see.
But the first round of testing, I think they were sandbagging a little bit, just kind of getting tire information, reliability, little bits in that of the sensors, and then they were kind of down in the middle of the pack, and everyone was like, oh, like,
How could you believe that? Like when people are like, dude, Mercedes isn't doing too hot. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're
There's no
not
way.
even trying.
Yeah.
They're the CIA. Like they're gonna.
So let's start down with number 6 with David's favorite driver, Sebastian Vettel. He was their 6th fastest at that weekend with a minute and 23.46 seconds. Right above him, his racing partner, number 2, Kimi Räikkönen,
the
came
Iceman.
Going to be really interesting to see Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari this year. I'm super excited.
I'm so excited for that. I've been a Ferrari fan for a while, and I had really had a lot of antagonism towards Vettel being such a dominant force in Formula One for 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And I have mixed opinions, or mixed feelings rather. I think I might be more of a Vettel fan seeing him struggle through last year and seeing him in a red car this year.
Yeah, sure. Number 4, Felipe Massa, our guy in Williams. Williams is my second favorite team. I feel like we all we root for them. They're like may not be our favorite.
Not a big Massa fan. Bottas, I mean, for sure.
Bottas is the
Yeah.
bomb, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I feel like we all passively want to see Bottas and Williams in general do well. At least for me, I like to see Williams succeed. I just think they
And
got
I
a
like to see
good-looking
you
car.
do well, Chase. So
Yes.
I like to see
All the Williamses.
That's why I have you on the show.
Keeping up with the
You're so
Williamses.
supportive.
I'm a supportive guy. I'm your dad.
That's
I'm
true.
your
My dad, bro. And number 3 is Valtteri Bottas.
Yep.
Which is so awesome. This guy was a rookie 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's only got a couple seasons under his belt.
And now he's up here with the highest dogs there are. And the fact, it's been said that Williams' budget is nowhere near what some of the higher end teams are, and they're still able to compete at this level, Now, what really bugged me was they would always have these awesome qualifying runs, always in 3rd and 4th and stuff, and would consistently finish 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
There's a problem with their race strategy. They are dropping the ball.
They are always struggling on the starts. They are always just constantly getting overtaken. And you're right. Very rarely did Bottas or Massa get a podium.
It was a lot of tire management that they weren't
They would
handling
really
properly.
mess up on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which is, I'm sure, you'd be pissed off about
Yeah,
that.
it's,
Like,
that's a
frustrating.
single.
Yeah.
You gotta hit singles.
yeah.
Now, number 1 and number 2 are going to go to our guys at Mercedes. Number 2 being Lewis, and number 1 being Nico. Now,
Yep.
here's what's so interesting about them being number 1 and number 2. All of the times besides theirs were set on super soft
I
tires.
saw that.
They set the fastest times at the track on softs,
Yes.
on a harder material.
And that's why everyone is saying
Can you believe that?
and still by 0.2 of a second.
Comfortably, It's
And people don't think
scary.
0.2 is a a
But
it's a
in
big
racing,
deal.
yeah, when
In
you're
Formula
going-
1, 0.2 of a second is
That's
a
everything.
huge
If you're
deal.
not all on the track together, 2/10 is a huge time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you're going hundreds of feet per second, it makes a difference.
So I guess it's safe to assume that they're doing well.
That's what I've been reading.
Yeah. Now going into Albert Park at the Australian GP, so one thing that's going to suck is your boy Alonso is going to be racing.
No, he's not. I'm pretty disappointed.
He
you
had
know.
that concussion, so he's not cleared medically. So
And that
Yep.
was almost 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? I feel like it
About
was-
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
which is a bummer because we all want to see what McLaren and Honda are going to do together.
Absolutely.
Alonso is
That's a big question mark. These three forces are coming together. New driver at McLaren, new engine. It's a big question mark.
But in what kind of sucks too, and I'm not surprised considering this is the first year with their engine. Alonso was saying it's probably not going to be until the summer break and that we're 100%. They pretty much said don't expect us to do the best.
That's what all the people at McLaren are saying is that once we go back to Europe, Silverstone that time frame,
Yeah.
they may
It's
start be
they have
able
to wait
to
till
get
Europe.
kind of working their way back up the list, but they're going to be struggling. They weren't able to put as many miles for testing. They are having reliability issues with brakes, with engines.
And that's definitely pretty frustrating because Alonso is probably at the tail end of his career now. I'm a huge
So is Button.
And Button, of course.
They're both.
Button's been in there, 15, 16
He's
years.
over 250 GP starts.
Pretty crazy. Well,
That's nuts.
Alonso has been struggling these past couple of years, and I think he only has one championship title, or maybe
Alon-
I think he's got two.
two.
Alonso
Yeah,
has
two.
2, Button has 1.
Okay. Every season counts at this stage of the game in his career. So to see him, missing a start like this and being at a new team where you're not expecting to really be 100% bore until you hit Europe. That's
a
definitely a
huge
reconstruction year,
Yeah.
and you don't have too many years left.
Now, look, going into this race, I want to get your guys' predictions. I mean, who's going to win this race, and how are people going to do? Because right now, it looks as if everyone isn't. Every car might be getting marginally better, but when it comes to like relative gains, they all look to be like sort of relatively doing the same as they were last season. You know, I personally think that you're going to have pole position Mercedes, number 2 Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to give the win to Nico. Why not? You know, I think
Of course you would.
Of course I would.
I think it's going to be so
He just likes to
lame.
push my buttons.
If this
Overdo
next
it.
year, like I wasn't even a part of watching the sport and just watching Mercedes watching Mercedes dominate and knowing every race going in that they were probably going to win was like what kept me from liking the sport.
Yeah, and imagine the Vettel years where it was like 4 years.
Yeah.
in
And
a
that
row
was, I think
you
that's
know
where
it's this guy.
my dislike of Vettel came from. Was just
Yeah.
I just didn't like watching a race when Vettel had already won the championship, like halfway through
Which
the
is
season.
so understanding. Like,
It's almost the opposite of golf, where you love to see Tiger Woods win or you love to see Rory McIlroy win.
Right.
You know, the level of prediction in F1 is can drive a lot of fans away for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like with the high speed, you also want a lot of competition.
Yeah.
You know.
luckily with Mercedes, they do kind of jockey for position a lot,
I was
and
gonna
those
say-
are exciting races.
Absolutely.
They truly
Yeah.
are.
The,
You're right.
The competition between Rosberg and
Hamilton.
Hamilton was season long.
It was intense.
It was really intense.
Came
It
down to
was
the
like
last
it definitely did. Like the first couple of weeks were all Rosberg, and then just hit a spell of some kind, and was consistently driving slower than
Well, I've never
Hamilton.
seen-
And Hamilton would have like better fuel consumption, and then
Yeah.
beat Rosberg by
I'm surprised that he's the
several
number 2
seconds.
driver still, honestly.
Rosberg?
I think
It
that
was almost
Hamilton
embarrassing.
proved himself over Rosberg.
He
He
is
had the number
Hamilton.
2
No,
car.
No, Hamilton is number 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
He's
he
the
was
number one
2
driver.
last year.
No,
Rosberg is not the one.
because Hamilton has a championship and Rosberg doesn't.
Might be. I
He would
thought
have definitely been
I
number
thought
1
Rosberg was 1.
without a question.
Cool.
Well, anyway, I'm just really interested to see what happens. I want to see.
Me too. It's gonna be fun.
It is going to be fun.